Hello, I am Chris from Deus Ex Machina, and I am with
Dave from Rampant Wolf Games.
And we are talking about top 5 essential games.
Correct.
Which are games that we think everyone should have. These are not necessarily games that are gateway games, but these are games that we think everyone should own.
Yes.
I think
or at least give it a try.
I think the distinction between, like, I want to get into gaming, what are the games I should get?
Yeah,
these are not those. But these are games I want to get. I've been playing games for a while. I want to start a collection.
Mm-hmm.
What are the games do you think I should definitely have?
Yes.
These are 5 games you just, these are not gateway. Although I will submit, honestly, a couple of these can be considered gateway games. But the difference being is that if you want to get people, like you want to get together and start a game group, and you have them playing board games here and there, you want to get heavy into some hardcore gaming, and you want to start the process, and you want to get a shelf going, buy these 5 games, get your shelf going. And I will go so far to say if our games are different, the total list. Because most people have 50, 60, 70, 100 games plus now. Oh, you do your hair like...
No, that was the 396 board games behind me. 200
plus for me. Which doesn't hold a stick to some people we know.
This is true. Very true.
Have you ever seen the video? Not Tom's collection, because we don't really see Tom's collection, but there's another guy who's kind of a background guy. He's a friend of Tom. Pops up once in a while. There was a video where Tom went through his garage, and it's basically just shelves. Not just that, it's occupying the garage now.
Yeah, I've got to set up new shelves over there.
Yeah. But imagine, this is almost the size of a garage here, right? And so imagine shelves, at least 2 full shelves in the middle going all the way through. Yeah. And then that wall, and then that wall, and then fill it up, stack to bottom games with dozens, if not hundreds, that are still unopened.
Thanks.
These are games, so we own all these games. If someone says, hey, I want to collect games, which 5 would you suggest I get into? I go, do you want gateway games, or do you want games that are, I say games that are fun, but gateway games are fun, but games that challenge you that you should definitely have in your collection. This is my 5. I will state, though, that one of them I think was on my gateway game, or is a game that could be considered a gateway game. But I made a point of only putting one on there.
One of mine is a gateway game to get you into really heavy games.
Well, so there's a gateway to get into gaming and another gateway into the next echelon of gaming.
Yeah, this one's to get you into the deep game.
God, we should do a conversation about that. There's a gateway game, but are there other gateways? And I think absolutely there's a gateway. There's a gateway to miniature gaming.
Yep. There's a dungeon crawlers.
Gateway to dungeon crawlers. There's the gateway to the big campaign mode games, like those ones where you
RPGs in a box.
Yep.
Yep.
Boy, that was a lot of lead up. Anyway, let's start with number 5. Smash me again. You're doing good today.
I am. I'm on my game.
All right. Number 5 for you is...
Descent 2.0.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
It's really weird, too, because... Is that the one you told me, where I always say I want to play it, and you own, everything from Descent? And
no.
Descent's probably one of the biggest, most well-known games that I do not own. It's on my wish list. I've never pulled the trigger.
Yeah. It's a good game.
Sorry. Go ahead.
It has some flawed mechanics that, people have tried to fix. One of the biggest problems that people have is that it's square hex. It's squares as opposed to hexes.
Is that a big turnoff? I mean,
it is when you're trying to figure out line of sight sometimes. But for me, it actually works out better. I would have to have a diagram here to show how the line of sight works in this game. But it's basically if both of you if you got a wall here and it ends here, and you're both here and here, you can see each other because the thought is that you can look around the edge of the wall and see each other. Mm-hmm. If the other guy's over here and you're against this wall, the thing is you can look around the wall, but he can't see you because you basically have cover, and vice versa. But if you are away from the wall and you're both away from the wall, then it blocks line of sight,
right?
Because you can't step out apparently, even if you're.
Yeah,
it drives people nuts. I don't know why, but. It is a solid game.
Obviously, it's popular enough. There's a lot of sequels, a lot of variations.
It's got its own camp app for so you can get rid of the game master. So it's actually really good. It is basically the one that really started the ball rolling in our collection, because when we started playing it was. I remember when we first started playing, the wife was just like, "Oh, it's kind of interesting game." And so we bought it. We brought it home. This is when we were still bought it on our FLGS, and we played it. And she's like, "I really like this. I wonder if there's more." I'm like, "Oh." So that was when I started buying games from Amazon. Don't do that. That is so expensive.
Yeah, Amazon, the paramount of good deals is not
When it comes to board games.
no.
And
Because oddly enough, you have to go to the Amazon of board games, which is not Amazon.
no.
There's been a couple weird exceptions. Every once in a blue moon.
Yes. They'll be like,
like Star Trek.
all of a sudden you'll see a post, someone's like, "Hey, I found this X-Wing thing that's like normally $120 or something on, like the big ones, on Amazon for like $50. What?
Star Trek Panic, $32.
Exactly, right? So there'll be those exceptions, right? So, so that's my number 5 essential game.
Good start out of the gate, yeah. Number 5 for me is Evolution.
Never played it.
Yeah, it's graphically it's distinct. It's beautifully illustrated, and it does something that not a lot of games really. It does something novel and unique. You create monsters, animals, dinosaurs. You give them mutations, and you see how successful they are. They kill. They eat plants. You try to feed them. If you're a carnivore, you actually feed off the other players. But then you can defend yourself by adapting. You can get thorns and stuff, so you can actually kill the predators and so forth. And then you have to then seed the watering hole and make sure there's enough food in the watering hole for you to feed. Otherwise, your population decreases. It's shockingly novel mechanic. It has... The carnivore is funny because you think the carnivore would be like a really gotcha mechanic, but it's not difficult to really screw the carnivore over. So you can still be the carnivore and lose, as everyone's putting, I have spiky bits, or I'm reproducing so much. You're literally doing me a favor by keeping my population down so I don't overproduce. And it's just stuff like that. It's just really fascinating. There's a lot of expansions, most of which you don't need. I have yet to feel the need to pick up any expansions, but the Evolution core game, it's actually games I brought people into gaming using. So that's my number 5 pick. Evolution.
Number 4 for me is Shadows of Brimstone.
I heard that game coming up a lot recently.
Yes, it is. It is a very interesting game for the simple fact of it's not fantasy, it's Western.
It's what?
It's Western.
Western.
You're cowboys.
Okay.
So, like 6 shooters. So it's set in basically a Western style, but there are portals to take you to other worlds that are things like a manned spaceship.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking. This setting is just...
Yeah, or a world that is filled with lava, or
not a good world, by the way.
Yeah, no,
kind of sucks.
A desolated radiation world.
Florida's lava is quite literally.
Yeah, so it has quite a few, and it's one of the few dungeon crawlers that can do up to 6 people co-op, which I find nice, because usually most of them cap at 4, which is like, that's great, but usually I'm sitting at about 5 or 6 for most of my groups. So
not a problem with me because I don't have friends.
True story. So yeah, it's a really good game. It's going to be coming up a lot fairly soon in the feeds because in theory they should be releasing the Forbidden Fortress course.
Is there a welcoming fortress? Open door? The politically correct fortress? The kind fortress.
Well, if you ask
the friendly fortress.
If you ask certain people, there's the Fortress of God. Not
getting into that.
We're not getting into that. Sorry. But yeah, it takes that Western now and combines samurais.
Oh.
So now you can play as a samurai as well. So it's just like, ooh, that's interesting. So yeah, it's going to hopefully be out this coming year, but it's Flying Frog, so probably 2 years from now.
Yeah. My number 4 is my kind of one gateway option. That's Sagrada.
Fair enough.
I find Sagrada a bit easier to bring people into the fray than Role Player. In defense, I might probably use Role Player because Role Player is the better game. But yeah, I mean, in retrospect, maybe I should have swapped it with Role Player. I think I'm still just annoyed because of the Monsters and Minion expansion, which is not a good expansion. But Sagrada, as a game, it's beautiful. The game, I think, that transcends. So it's a gateway game and also not a gateway game. Mm-hmm. So it kind of operates both. So yeah, that's number 4 for Sagrada. But really, if depending on who it is, you can swap that with Role Player. Same game mechanics, same effect.
Yeah. Number 3 is Sentinels of the Multiverse. If you want a hero-based deck builder, this is the game. It's not even a deck builder. So if you want a hero-based card game, this is the game you need to get. Because honestly, Legendary, it doesn't feel like you're playing superheroes in Legendary. Because the cards you get are random cards for heroes, right? It's like, I've got a Wolverine card, I've got this card. You're not playing as your character. In Sentinels of the Multiverse, you are playing your card with your 50 some odd cards of powers that specifically are tied to you. You're the only guy who can boost everybody else's powers because you're Captain Legacy, but it's not Captain, it's just Legacy. It's supposed to be Captain America, but it's not. Anyways. Because that's just what
because
you do.
Copyright. Because
of copyright. You know, you rally the troops. You know, that's what you do because you're Legacy. If you're guys, you're basically Deadpool. You're smart, wisecracking. You know, even the cards even have funny little quips on them because that's just how, you know, it pulls you into the theme. Like, this game is dripping with theme. It pulls you in, and you feel like you're playing your character. Legendary, you don't. You're just playing a deck builder. It's like, I got a card.
Yeah, you don't feel as if you're playing as anything.
Well, and the worst part, too, with Legendary is it's not really co-op.
Well, the Encounters is. But
Marvel
Legendary.
Marvel Legendary isn't, so that's...
you can ignore the point system and just play cooperative. I mean, everyone I know plays it that way.
Yeah.
But at the end, you always go, yeah, no, we all won. But I won more.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you have to really fight the urge to not add up your points.
Yeah, exactly. So, Sentinels of the Multiverse, if you want a hero-based card game, that's the game you need to buy.
Yeah. My number 3 is viticulture.
Because you like wine.
Oh, I love wine. I love wine.
He's going to have a moment here now for a PSA about wine. And we're back.
No, I'm just staring at the screen. I love wine. Even though I've only been drinking for like 5 years. Anyway, no, because it's actually probably one of the most perfect worker placement games out there. It's a bit finicky to learn the basic structure. Like you realize, so there's this morning phase and this evening phase, and you have to distribute your workers. You have to figure out. Once you figure that out, it is it has a lot of classic mechanics. But I like it. It's one where you don't have to feed your workers, so you just get your guys if you want. Get as many guys as you want early on, and then place your guys and make sure you structure them.
You know what would make it better though? Because if your meeples were like little wine glasses that actually had wine in it, you fill it up before the game, and then at the end of the game, you drink all your workers.
That's disgusting. Why would you drink your worker?
Why?
Come on, dude. We're not vampires, to my knowledge. But no, you have the meeple, you have the grande meeple, which is even a bigger meeple, and now with the essential edition, which combines the mandatory expansion of Tuscany into a combo pack, which is the same price with better production value than the base game. That's the way to go. I mean, whenever I play a worker placement game, I always go, okay, is this better or worse than Viticulture? And most of the time, it either has a gimmick, which makes it equal to, or if it tries to do the same thing, Viticulture does it better. When it comes to worker placement games, it's not the first, not the last. I wouldn't even say it's the best, but it hits so many good notes.
But you raise a good point, completely off topic. A glass that's shaped like a meeple. That would sell. At conventions, that thing would sell.
A giant wooden...
Or, no, glass, like an actual...
Or a meeple, a wooden meeple that holds the two glasses.
Yeah,
like those little.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah. We're gonna cut that out so we can sell it.
Disclaimer: copyrighted.
Yeah. So that's my number 3 pick, Viticulture.
All right. Number 2. Dice Throne. You need to get this game.
It's a Kickstarter game. How can you get it?
Now you can buy it in stores.
You can get in season 1.
No, season 2. They're going to retail.
All right.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. No.
Send me a photo of it on a shelf, and I will be.
I can probably grab them from the Dice Throne community on Facebook. They actually did find it in the store. Because it's being sold by Roxley Games, so it's being.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it takes away for me. It gets rid of that uber magic card player because it handicaps them with dice, and I love that because I hate playing with people that are like, "Well, here's my combo, here's my cards, and you're dead." It's like, no, you still got to roll your dice. Oh, well, that screwed up my combo. Life. Yeah,
the dice do throw a little bit of randomness into somebody. Like, I have the perfect strategy. I am going to do nothing.
Yep. And I enjoy that. Because it's...
Except unless you're one of those people like me that likes to be able to strategy. Okay, if I do this right, I should be able to do this. Nope. Oh,
but that's the whole thing about, the best laid plans of men and mice often go astray. It's life. Sometimes you plan for something that doesn't go your way. Otherwise, you would have got 15 points on your wife's list.
But if I had... But it was one of those things where I know it's life, the fact that certain things just don't work your way. But if I wanted all my games to reflect real life, I would just do real life. Sometimes one of those things, right? Like chess. You're not pulling random things from... You're not rolling dice to figure out where you go. No. Sometimes randomness... I mean, I like the game. I mean, I won. Doing a maneuver that you thought you'd never see.
Yes.
I pulled off an ultimate.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. Is games like that give the chance for, that person who never wins because maybe they're just not that good at board games, gives them the chance to finally level the playing field. And that's what I enjoy.
Yeah.
I like a balancer mechanic.
I can give you that.
So that's my number 2, Dice Throne.
Yeah. My number 2 is Robinson Crusoe. And I know you're going to dislike it. You seem to dislike Robinson Crusoe.
I like Robinson Crusoe. I am one of those everything for it.
Huh?
I have even the promos and everything.
I am one of those few people that doesn't often lose at that game. And I think we've gone through 4 missions. Compared to some people who have played the game a dozen times. I've won it twice. It's a fun game. We play it, I think, right. It's a fun story. We always enjoy it. Even when we lose, we think we've actually enjoyed it. It's the only cooperative game I know where we have lost and I have not felt like I wasted my time.
Yeah, I only have one game like that, and that is Order of the Vampire Hunters. We've never won, but we still want to play it again.
Yeah. It's a good game. And I really wish First Martians was up to that level.
We got so close to winning, and then it was just like right at the end, somebody did something, and it wasn't through fault of theirs. It wasn't a fault of theirs. That was just how the chance happened. It was either a dice roll or a card happened, and it killed us. And, it was kind of like, oh, we almost made it. But, I like a game that can take me to that. You almost win. You almost got there, but you didn't. Because that, to me, makes me feel like, I can beat this.
Next time.
The games that kill you right off the bat, it's just like, you're going in a dark shelf somewhere.
Yeah. It's like, you didn't play it right. If there should never be a cooperative game where you can't, and you play it wrong and it kills you in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
At that point, okay, how about you then tell us how to play it right?
Yeah.
Or just play the game for us.
Yeah, so
I think every cooperative game should have 2 or 3 ways you can win.
Yeah.
Not saying, oh no, if you want to win this game right, you have to play it exactly this way. I go, well then how about the game just do it for us?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Wheel of Fortune. Everyone picks RSTLNE, so just give it to us.
Yeah.
So, number 1. Snip.
All right. Number 1 for essential board games that you need to have in your collection. Legendary Encounters, Aliens.
Good choice.
And because it gives you
the best. Uh-oh.
I would say
Is it
yes.
the best of Legendary game?
Most
people say it is, and I do not know why I don't own it.
It is the best. Even their expansion, which makes it harder, which I've never used because I just kind of was like, ha ha, I never win anyways. But that's a game where we feel like, we play it, we're just like, good game, everyone. We almost won. And then there's been times where I did win. It's like, yeah, die, you bitch. I quoted a line from the movie. Oh my gosh. Heavens have mercy.
Well, wait, what'd you say?
Die, you bitch.
That's not a quote from the movie.
I know, if you really stay away from her, you bitch, is what you actually want.
Get away from her, you bitch. Oh, I am. Trust me. Do not come at me, bro, with aliens quotes. I will get you because I wrote an Aliens role-playing game, for God's sakes. I know that franchise.
So that's my number one. Legendary counters Alien.
Yeah, it's a good choice. I picked for number one.
Better not be Carcassonne or Caverna.
Oh God, no! It's Terraforming Mars.
Really?
Do you not like this game?
I don't like it enough for it to be number one.
For me, it's number one specifically because it is one of the most enjoyable tableau builders. Yeah, when it comes to a game that can take you 3 hours, but is not one of those heavy-handed miniature games, it's a game that feasibly, if you know where to get it from, you can get it for like under $60. It's a tableau builder. It's light enough, but it is complex enough because it's a game that right from the get-go you're like, oh, this is easy, and then by the end of it you're like, holy crap, this game got really complicated and I didn't know it. Because you start off with just nothing. Yep. And you got a couple cards. You go, oh, I'll do this, and this, and this. Your turn. Okay, I'll do this, and your turn. And then I get this card, and this card, and this card. And then over the course of 2.5 hours, you've laid out this elaborate tableau of consequence, action, counterpoint, system. You create this engine, and you had no idea that you were doing that from the beginning. The first time you played Terraforming Mars, you're like, oh, well, that seems pretty straightforward. If you were told where the game was going to go, you were like, oh, this is going to get too complicated. Like, that's the issue with Scythe. Scythe, you get that big engine board, which I love, but boy, was that game really difficult to learn the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Because you were so intimidated because it gave you everything. Mm-hmm. It opened up the entire engine bay, showed the entire car piece by piece, and you're like, boy, this is too much for me.
Yeah.
Terraforming Mars, you're in the driver's seat, shows you controls, you drive for a little bit, and it's like, oh, you want to learn how the car drives now? And they open up and you go, this is the wheels. And now you're playing with the wheels. And then you're playing with the headlights. And next thing you know, at the end of the whole experience, you realize you now know how to build this engine. And you did not know that you were going that direction that it began. It is a game that you get someone into at the beginning, and by the end of it, you have literally brought them into the fold of more complicated gaming throughout the single game. I like that. I like that interesting. It's almost like, it reminds me of, this is a strange thing, of Mulan. The movie Mulan. Disney did musicals. And then they stopped doing musicals. Right? And there was like 10 years where they weren't making musicals. They were making animated films, but none of them were musicals. Mm-hmm. And then there was the Renaissance period of the 80s and 90s where they were doing musicals. Mm-hmm. And do you know exactly when that changed? Halfway through Mulan. Quite literally. Mulan, song, go over the hill. Armies decimated by the Huns, and no songs for 20 years of Disney, including the last hour of that movie. And that's kind of thing. You start going into Terraforming Mars thinking you're doing one thing, and by the end of it, you've realized you've done a lot more. You've pushed the envelope a lot more without knowing it, and that's why I think Terraforming Mars is my favorite.
Yeah, I'll say it's in the top 10, but yeah, I don't think one, but agree to disagree.
All right, then. I've been Chris.
I've been Dave, and remember, the rules are just a suggestion. Play the game how you want to play it.